The 3.0 update has been out for just over a week now, and I have been playing it so much. I think this is the first week where I've solidly played Animal Crossing, actually put like real hours into it since its release. I am fully back in my Animal Crossing era. I've never chopped so much wood, visited so many islands, spoken to so many of my villagers, and I am out here doing it all. And with that comes the knowledge of small little details that I've discovered along the way in the 3.0 update, and that's exactly what we are going to be going over today. Here's some secret features, details that you might need to know, just so you can really get the most out of your time with this update. Now, one of the biggest changes in the 3.0 update was obviously the introduction of the hotel. So a lot of these do focus around the hotel. You can still decorate your dock. You can still place items down on it. You can still add custom paths or custom patterns to your dock by painting them on the floor, and that also includes the area outside your hotel. So that kind of like rectangular square, you can place items down on here. Right now I'm kind of doing like a Santa Monica. I say Santa Monica, it's more focused on Llandudno in North Wales. I have the Ferris wheel up right next to the hotel. I have also plopped down a little outdoor cooking station and a crafting table just behind where you actually donate those crafted items to Kapp'n, just because I figure that's easier than running back and forth like between my island or my house or wherever I might have one of those things set up. However, another thing that you can do off the hotel dock is actually jump in. If your character is wearing their wetsuit, you could already do this off the airport kind of dock, and they will do a big old flip over the ropes of that dock, but you can now do it on your pier where your hotel is. All you have to do is make sure you're running, so hold down your B button, and then whilst you're doing that, press A at the same time whilst you're at the edge of the dock, and your character will flip off and you will be in the sea. But remember, you can only do that if you are wearing your wetsuit. Another one that I noticed the very first time that I played, and yes, it is the worst look ever considering it was my worst ever villager, someone who we actually held a canonical funeral for when I finally got rid of them on my island. But if you have a past villager, so someone who has lived on your island at some point and they become a tourist, they actually visit your hotel, whilst they are both roaming around, and also if you go speak to them whilst they're in their hotel room, they will remember you. They'll be like, oh my god, hey, like I thought I would pay you a visit, and I am being haunted by Bendy Dick, which is super, super fun. I think they also potentially could remember you if they've been to the hotel multiple times, but don't quote me on that. Of course, one of the main features of the hotel is being able to decorate. It's kind of a mini form of the DLC. If you have your hands on the DLC, if you do in fact own it, there will be features available from that DLC whilst you are actually making over those rooms. So for example, if you have all of the columns unlocked, the kind of pillars, the fake walls, the counters, you can actually use those in your hotel rooms, be it a standard room, just one of the 8 that are available as you go through the story of the hotel, or for a VIP room. If you go into your decorating stance, which is using down on the D-pad and then hit left on your D-pad, you'll also be able to change the size of the room, which I didn't think that this was going to be available. I'm fairly sure it's only a thing if you have the DLC. So if you are enjoying decorating and you're like, ooh, I wish I had a few more items, I wish I had a little bit better customizability, maybe look at a couple of people playing the DLC, see if it is worth it for you. You don't have to work off the standard room. You can change the size of it, which definitely makes it helpful for switching those rooms up, making them feel a little bit different from one another. It's not only the size that you can change, you can also change the entryway tiles, the soundscapes, pretty much a lot of the things that you can do in designing in the DLC, you will then be able to do in your hotel rooms. If you're like me and you've been diving in deep to this DLC and you've already got through the first 8 rooms, which are just the standard rooms, you will have unlocked VIP rooms. And I just wanted to let you know, these VIP rooms kind of work a little bit differently than the standard rooms that you've been doing. Rooms 1 to 8 will actually stay the same unless you choose to remodel them at any point. However, the VIP rooms will actually delete themselves after 24 hours. After a day in game, if you want to maybe have the memory of them, obviously we do take photos, but you could like record a little bit if you want to have footage of your VIP rooms. I just wanted to give you a heads up that they are in fact deleted and you can never really get them back, which is a little unfortunate. I kind of wish that you could keep a few of them, maybe have those as like the default if you choose to build a specific theme or something like that, but it does kind of mean that you get to explore more furniture and more themings in the future because they don't hang around. Spoiler warning, I'm gonna talk about the Nook Miles achievement, so if you don't want to know what that missing middle one is, maybe you haven't come across it within your gameplay yet, maybe you're like me and you want to play through it by yourself and not actually have information about what that Nook Miles achievement is, feel free to skip to the timestamp that I'm gonna have down below in the description or just on this bar right here, and you'll be able to avoid that spoiler. I just wanted to give a heads up considering I'm pretty much gonna tell you what that is and how you actually go about achieving it. I was guessing, is it maybe to do with Resetti, considering he's also new in the DLC, but it is to do with the hotel. Now, I don't know what you actually need to be able to unlock this. I just want to say I had done a fair few of the donations. I had made a lot of the requests for Kapp'n and I donated a lot of that stuff. I think I've already hit like the 150. I told you, I have been grinding this update, and I had also played through the story of the hotel. I had already done rooms 1 to 8 and the very first VIP room, so the story of the hotel was also complete when this finally occurred, and it occurred a few days after I realized that I had a villager that didn't live on my island and also wasn't wearing the clothing that you set for your tourists. They had a thought bubble above their head, like, what do I do now? Where do I go? And of course, because I knew that they didn't live on my island, I was like, this isn't a moving bubble. Usually they're also carrying a little bag with them. They've been doing some shopping on your island. Clearly, they're not as frustrated as I am with Able Sisters not getting a shopping trolley update because they've been spending their hard-earned bells. If you talk to this villager, you can either just wish them luck on their holiday and tell them to enjoy themselves, or you can be the hostess with the mostess. You can say, hey, follow me to the hotel. That will load you into the hotel, speaking with Leilani at the front desk. She'll give you thanks for advertising the hotel and will actually ask you if you want that person to be in a standard room or in a VIP room. If you choose to put them in a VIP room, you will then decorate that VIP room. You will do all of the decorating, or you can just put them in one of the standard rooms that you've already decorated, and you can choose which vacant room you would like them to go in. After you've done that the very first time, boom, there's the Nook Mile achievement, and you get the title of Sincere Guide. If you choose to put them up in a standard room, obviously that's already pre-decorated. It won't take you through a cutscene. You won't need to decorate anything. You just choose a room that is vacant, which unfortunately I had to put Bangle up in my toy room, which really didn't match the aesthetic, and I felt kind of bad about it, but it was literally the only room that was free in my hotel. And for doing so, I actually got 50 tickets from Leilani. However, if you put them up in a VIP room and you do go through all of the designing process, Leilani will give you 300 hotel tickets. So there is a little difference. Obviously, it goes off the amount of work that goes into these. The VIP rooms demand you to build right then and there and decorate, so it's only fair that you get paid for your work. Speaking of the hotel tickets that you can get, obviously by decorating rooms, by inviting tourists to stay in your rooms, you can also get those tickets by crafting and doing the item requests that then ship off with Kapp'n. Every 10 items that you ship, you will actually get a bonus of 100 tickets. Kapp'n will be like, you know what, you're doing a really, really good job. I'm impressed. Here, have 100 extra tickets. Now, this goes off the individual items in the sense of if you have to craft 2 of something, that just counts as 1 item. It doesn't count as 2 items. Every task that you do is 1 thing, whether you make multiples of the items or not. Also, you might wander onto your pier one day and Kapp'n will actually be like, hey, player name. And you'll be like, wait, did he just like talk to me? If you talk to him, he'll actually say that he's been impressed by the amount that has been shipped, or someone offshore has taken like a liking to your work. And again, he will give you bonus tickets. Turns out Kapp'n actually has quite a bit to say in this update. It feels like he has been yapping even more than Kapp'n usually does. Like, I call him Kapp'n Yappin' for a reason. You've been able to go on Kapp'n tours. He's been able to take you to islands for 1,000 Nook Miles, and this can be a rare island, it can be a star fragment island, it could be a moss covered island. But it turns out, once again, after you've finished the story, once you've completed all 8 of those rooms and the very first VIP room, if you speak to him for a second time in the same day, he will actually offer you a second tour for a measly 100 hotel tickets, which you could easily get just by donating 10 items to him. 100 tickets really isn't bad. It's a lot easier to get those 100 hotel tickets than it is to get like 1,000 Nook Miles. So I would definitely take advantage of that. It's also really, really helpful if you have found that you've been crafting a lot and you've been running out of fruits or vegetables, you've been running out of wood or stone or seashells. Traveling to those islands can obviously top up your resources a little bit that you might be struggling to keep up with. Not only does donating 10 items give you 100 bonus tickets each time, but there is a little hack that if you actually donate customized items to Kapp'n, you will get an extra 2 tickets for every customized item. This doesn't go off the amount of like customization kits that you use or anything like that. It's just a default number of 2 extra tickets per customized item. Once you've donated it to him, he'll be like, hey, that item was customized. Nice little touch. Here's 2 bonus tickets. Speaking of customization, obviously you can customize crafted items using customization kits. Now, if you go to Nook's Cranny, you could usually buy these in the cupboard, but you could only buy in bulk, and that in bulk was 5 of them. But now, in the 3.0 update, you can spend 30,000 bells, which is quite a lot of bells, especially if right now you're trying to save to upgrade your storage, and you can buy 50 of these instead of just 5, which I guess if you are customizing to get those extra hotel tickets, that is definitely gonna be worth it for you. And not only can you craft from your storage, so as long as you have the resources somewhere in your storage, you'll be able to make the items. That also works the exact same way with customization kits. So if you have those 50 that you just bought from Nook's Cranny in your inventory back at your house, you can go to any crafting table that you have on your island and you'll be able to customize any item. So you don't have to carry the customization kits with you, which is really, really handy. This one's kind of weird because I feel like the game only really tells you about it if you hop into your terraforming app, but this actually is unlocked even if you don't have terraforming, and it is of course being able to jump and also move around in a grid-like fashion. So yes, you're able to do this even if you don't have access to terraforming. All you have to do is hit the L button either on your Joy-Cons or on your Pro Controller, and your character will kind of hop into position. Now, this is really, really handy if you have crops, if you're watering flowers or you're picking flowers, which, trust me, you're also probably gonna have to pick a lot of flowers because I feel like a lot of us didn't have them in our storage and now we need them for those tasks for Kapp'n. I never thought that in 2026 I would be planting seeds once again on my island. It's also actually just good for those of you who maybe struggle with like digging or picking up specific items on your island. You can actually have a tool out whilst you are doing this, so you are able to do those actions whilst kind of being in this cha-cha slide state. Also good for fencing, you know, kind of decorating, getting into those nooks and crannies, being able to place objects on the spot where you actually want to place them. We don't have a tile guide the same way that we do in Stardew Valley, but I feel like this is a close second. Another one that you no longer have to miss out on, and that is, of course, the Pocket Camp items. Now, originally, when this game came out, they did a promotion with their mobile app, which was, at the time, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. You could actually connect your Pocket Camp and your Nintendo Switch account, and you would get bonus items through the Nook shopping, whereas now everyone has access. Because you can't really connect your accounts anymore, because the game isn't really the game that it once used to be, they've just made these items freely available to everyone, so make sure you are scrolling all the way to the bottom of Nook shopping in the special items to find those items that you might have previously missed out on. I think my favorite is definitely the camping sign and also the kind of like blue and white shirt. And finally, Blathers is no longer blathering. Well, that kind of depends what you're interacting with Blathers for, but if you are used to misclicking, if you accidentally usually hit, hey, I would like to donate, and he's like, oh, unfortunately, you don't have anything to donate. He usually takes you back to that top menu where you then have to move down to assess fossils. Whereas now in the 3.0 update, if you actually have unassessed fossils sat in your inventory, even if you accidentally click I would like to donate, he will say, hey, you've not got anything to donate, but he doesn't take you back to that top menu. He actually just says if you want to assess the fossils that you currently have. So it saves you definitely a little bit of time, even if you completed your fossil collection. Assessing your fossils means that you can sell them for more, or maybe you just like doing the hard work for your friends so they can actually just donate it to their museum. It's just a nice little quality of life feature that definitely saves you a small amount of time, but makes it flow a little bit better. Those are all the small features, the little details of the 3.0 update that you potentially might have not come across just yet. You might not have even thought to test it, so I figured I would do the hard work for you. I've come across them throughout my gameplay. I've obviously been streaming the update a lot over on my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/EnglishSimmer, if you maybe want to come check out a lot of my Animal Crossing streams. But I would love to know how you lot have been feeling about the 3.0 update. Were there any details here that I introduced you to? And if so, which ones do you think you're gonna get the most use out of? Which ones do you think are the most helpful? If you made it to this part of the video, I appreciate you very, very much. You should let me know in the comments down below, who has your favorite tourist been so far? Or just if you like the tourists. I know some people are not a fan of them. I think they are potentially gonna get a little bit annoying, but for others, they've said that it makes that island feel way more alive. So I would love to know where you sit on that. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one.